Yo, what is up, gamers? Today we're back with another Bedwars commentary, and today I'm going to be talking about something a bit different now. I'm going to be talking about my strange elementary school. I was about to say primary school because I'm in Australia, but all of you Americans, I can't believe you guys call primary school elementary. It makes no sense. So my wonderful time in primary school, yeah, I really don't care anymore at this point. Oh, my wonderful time in primary school begins in pre-primary. And there's one thing I need to tell you about pre-primary. You see, in pre-primary, there was not one day that I did not get sent to the principal's office. And getting sent to the principal's office, it was like the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? Like, if you get sent into the principal's office, your reputation in your school is like gone. You're that one kid that is just nobody talks to because you got sent to the principal's office like twice in one day. And the second thing you need to understand is that my pre-primary teacher was really bad. So and she's the main antagonist in this story. So I'm gonna call her Mrs. Asshole because she's an asshole. It's pretty self-explanatory if we think about it. So one of my most memorable moments with Mrs. Asshole was this one time. So basically there was this kid, right? He was doing something funny, right? And I laughed. And instead of like saying, it's like, oh, stop being an idiot to the kid who was being an idiot, she like turned her head right at me and shouted at me and saying, Trims, did you laugh? No comedy here. No laughing. No fun allowed. And I'm like, what? I smirked. I didn't even laugh. I smirked. It was just like you know a slight smile, and she was in a complete rage about it, and she sent me to the principal's office. Oh, by the way, one thing I should clear up before like I continue this story is that before you got sent to the principal's office, you had to you were sent to the naughty corner. And the naughty corner was like very bad. Like, let me just. I don't want to fight him. He was way better stuff than me. Why did I do that? So yeah, I'll send up to the principal's office that day, and it was not a fun experience because at the principal's office, so basically what you have to do as a pre-primary student, as a 5-year-old, I had to go up to the principal and say, hey, my teacher sent me to the principal's office because I did a bad thing, and then the principal would always say, oh, Trims, what have you done this time? Because, like, you see, I'm a repeated offender. See, at this point, my teacher's about to call the cops on me because I'm bound to be a criminal when I grow up at this stage. But she asked me what I've done, and I say I've laughed. I laughed in class, and she and I'm gonna call her this video Mrs. OK because she was an okay principal. She didn't like go completely insane over small things. She was, if I got sent to the principal's office and it was just like me laughing, for example, I mean that's a pretty literal example. She would just be like, oh, okay, well then you can just stay here for a while. She wouldn't get that mad. That was very unnecessary. So I go up to the office, and then she says, oh, you're back again. And she just lets me stay there, and that's it. But there's another story. There's another story about this, including Mrs. Asshole. And this one is very, very stupid. Like, can I be honest? It like makes my face cringe whenever I hear about it. And basically, what it was that I was ringing around. I was like a very restless child as a kid, and I always like. Let me just out-juke this child at video games. You wanna fight? Oh, I wonder where he is. He can't possibly be behind. We can just sit here all day. I'm in a bit of a predicament right now. Okay, let's see. Go. He's behind me. He's chasing after me. No, he's not. Okay, so I was moving around while the teacher was telling some, I don't know, some story, I have no clue. But basically, basically she saw how I was moving in a very weird way, because I was just wanting to move around. I didn't want to sit down. And she shouted at me saying, "Trims, you have committed a federal offense. You have moved around while in class for no reason at all." And I'm like, in my mind I was like, what did I do? And she called my parents because of this. She was like, "Your son is too active. You need to put him down, okay?" So yeah, that was a fun experience. And at this point, my parents were like very confused. They were like, "What has our child done exactly?" And the teacher was like, he moved around in a strange way." And then my parents were like, "What exactly happened?" And then my teacher would continuously probably like say, "Oh, he moved," and I'm like, my parents probably are like, "You're serious? You're calling me to say that my child has moved in a funny way?" Yeah. You at this point, you should have already lost hope for the school. Anyways. Anyways, I definitely did not die that game, but basically, yeah, that was all that really happened in pre-primary, but yeah, it was a very, very weird and very, very weird time, and I understand, I committed a crime. It was very, very, very terrible. I should not have committed that crime. I'm deeply sorry. I apologize to Mrs. Asshole, who respectfully, I guess, told me off because I had done something bad. And when you do something bad, you should tell the person that's committing the crime that they're doing something bad. I mean, you know what I mean? And I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again, I promise. Anyways, moving on. Just kill this gamer. You want bed trade? Anyways. Moving on. We're gonna fast forward to year 2. Year 2 was a bit of a questionable time as well for me. Because... introducing another antagonist to the story, my year 2 teacher. We're gonna call her Mrs. Not Gamer. And so basically, Mrs. Not Gamer, she, before the school year started, she sent a video. And the video was like, oh, I'm such a good teacher. I'm going to do such fun stuff with you, year 2s. And I'm like, wow, this is gonna be the best year ever. But little did I know that this year was gonna be hell. And there wasn't. I can't really remember everything because it was just so stupid. Like, why would I want to remember it in my life? But basically, ignore chat. Mrs. Not Gamer. I'm starting forgetting her names already. Oh gosh. Mrs. Not Gamer. This was Christmas, and she assigned us with some work to do. It wasn't very important work. We didn't learn anything. We had to make a Christmas wreath and a snowman out of shredded newspapers. Yeah, it's not very exciting. But basically, I was reading this novel, right? I was reading this cool little novel. I was like really into it, and I didn't really want to do the work, so I just finished the work. I mean, not very well, but I finished the work, and then I went to the reading corner, which we had a reading corner, and I started reading. And a few minutes later, Mrs. Not Gamer just walked up to me and said, "Trims, you have not finished your work." And I'm like, "I have though." And she's like, "No, because I didn't say so." After that guy. But I'm like, I finished the wreath. I finished the snowman. By the way, we made the wreath out of plastic bags. And you know what she did next? This is the reason why I've never forgot this moment. She tore apart my wreath and said, "You have unfinished work." You see what I mean? Yeah, that was scarring. Like, I'm like, I spent so much time, not really, but like, still, I spent my time to do the work you assigned me. You specifically said, finish the wreath. The wreath was finished, and obviously she was like, I'm not gonna get like, this kid, he's not going to tell me what I do, and was like, and so yeah, that was very weird, questionable moment in life, and I'll never forget that, because to be honest, she's not very gamer, and it's in the name. Oh, epic clutch. So yeah, that's the only experience I remember about Mrs. Not Gamer. Moving on to the next story, where we are greeted again with Mrs. Asshole. Yeah, yes, it is like the return of Mrs. Asshole. And we have fast forwarded 3 years later, and this is in year 5, right? And she's back, and I at this point I still haven't forgotten what the traumatic experience that I have had with her. They weren't really traumatic, but they were just really dumb and stupid, to the point where your IQ literally drops every time I think about it. Anyways, I'm like, oh no, not again, not this teacher again. And you know what the first thing she says? This is what she says. "Alright, class, well, today I'm going to introduce myself, even though you guys already know me, but I am going to do something called flexible learning," or whatever. I have no clue. You know, I've already forgotten what she said at this point, but this was the only thing I thought was like, oh, she might actually be a good teacher this time. And basically, what flexible learning was basically you could like sit around wherever you want, basically, and you can just do stuff. And I was like, oh, that sounds so epic. But you know what happened in like the first week of having her? She removed it because we were apparently too loud, And when I say too loud, we will just talk, we were communicating to one another as like sociable human beings. But she was like, no, you cannot make friends in my classroom. Which is understandable. I understand. We committed the worst crime of all, talking to our friends. So yeah, I can't really complain. Guys, I already know you guys have unsubscribed because I'm complaining too much. Ignoring that, so when she removed it, she left 2 people with the, flexible learning. And all they got was, like, these bouncy balls, whatever they're called. And you know who those 2 people were? They were the 2 shyest people in the school, in the class. Like, they literally only talk to each other, and when they talk, they're like mice. And I have nothing against them, by the way. So yeah, but you can see why they were the ones that still had the flexible learning, because they were the ones that weren't talking, while all of us were like making friends, and the teacher was like, no, don't do that. One of the reasons why I really never liked this teacher in the first place is because she contradicts herself so many times, and this happened to me multiple times, by the way. But one time we were talking in class, and she said, silence, you children, and we all say silent, and guess what she does next? She talks to the EA. Yeah, you heard that right. She talked to the EA for 10 minutes straight while we were just standing in silence. That is what she stopped us for. Because she was talking to the EA. I'm gonna fire this guy. Hello? Yeah, I know, it's stupid. I'm just as angry as you are. This was like, I was like, why do you talk to the EA? While let me just hello, goodbye. Why do you have the guts to talk to the EA and say, stay silent, kids? You see what I mean? She was a bit of an idiot. This guy, he scares me. I'm not going to mess with him. Oh my gosh. What? You can't do that. Ah! No. Here's what you have to understand. Halfway through the year, halfway through the hellish, like, year, she leaves. Well, she doesn't leave, but this other teacher basically has got promoted or something, and basically her old job in the school has had to be taken by someone else because she was just too busy to do that whole job anymore. And you know who they put in charge of this? Yeah, you guessed that right. The hellish teacher, and this guy is like a sweat. That's all I'm saying. No, it's insane. And I got destroyed. Oh my gosh, no! Get down, get down, go down. Yes. See, you have to make them feel like if they don't go down, they're gonna be. See, I'm not dumb. Ha! But you are, because you did it, idiot. What? Oh my gosh, that was. You saw that lag. You saw that lag. I was rubber banded like crazy. So we had to have a different teacher because she couldn't teach us anymore. Well, she did teach us on Fridays, but those were hell Fridays. And I was like so excited. I was like, new teacher? Pog! and the new teacher came in, right? She was like, she was so friendly. She greeted us. She treated us, I guess, with respect on the first day. Until the second day is when I realized that she was even worse. For this video's sake, I'm gonna call her Mrs. Dickhead. Definitely not any correspondent between her and who she actually is. She's oh, that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, no! You got him. Not even close. So basically, on the second day, well, not really on the second day, but a few weeks later, we were learning. Look, she was such a bad teacher. All we did was we learned art that term. We learned art. And you're probably like, oh, what, were you just drawing stuff the whole time term? No, we weren't even drawing. What we were doing was learning about the history of art or something. And I'm just gonna destroy this kid. Got him, not even close, and I probably need a gap, but... So, we were learning art. And we weren't even doing it. We were just learning about the history of art. And can I be honest? Can I be completely honest? When am I in life, am I ever going to use my knowledge of art? Huh? Yeah, exactly. I learned basically nothing with her. And one of this story is something that you probably facepalm at. It's just so dumb. But basically, one time, after doing our, like, first actual art drawing, of probably, like, the third week of learning art, and the history of art, or whatever, like, the Renaissance, we were doing, like, I don't know, Leonardo Picasso art or something, but we were drawing, we were supposed to draw something, right, and after we finished, she said my name. She said, hey, Trims, go clean up all the crayons or whatever we were using. And when she said, go pick up the crayons, right? When she said that, immediately once I started picking up the crayons or whatever we were using, she ended up saying, why are you picking up the crayons? You're supposed to be sitting on the ground listening to me. And she was like, I'm going to call your parents if you do something like this again. And I'm like, what? You told me just like 2 seconds ago that you were going to, like, that I was supposed to pick up the crayons. And she was like, huh? Well, when did I say this? Well, I'm not dumb, child, you know. And she obviously didn't, like, exactly say that, otherwise she would, like, get fired. But, yeah. So that was one of the first very dumb encounters with, the new teacher, with Mrs. Dickhead. What? And it didn't end there. Also, by the way, last game, it was definitely a rubber band. That's the reason why I lost. I am not bad. Don't make fun of me in the comments. It does not end there. You know what she does? So, it was becoming the end of year 5, which was, I was, like, celebrating my head, like, this hell of a year was finally coming to an end. It's like being released from prison, but even better probably, because this is even worse than prison. It's hell. What? Anyways, back on track. So it's the end of the year, right? And this kid, we call him Jim. He asked me, can you please get my pencil case out of my tray? And because in the school we didn't have lockers, because it's not high school, we had trays. We called them trays. And I was like, sure. And so he asked me to take his pencil case out of his tray. And I'm like, sure, why not? I'll do that for you. And so I pass. I actually throw the pencil case very lightly. Very lightly, I throw the pencil case to him, and he was obviously joking, but he was like, "Oh, I'm dying." He threw the pencil case at me. I need to be saved. And at this point, I was like, "Oh yeah, he's obviously joking." But because my teacher was just so dumb, she thought he was actually, like, seriously hurt. And can I be honest? First off, when you hear that someone got a pencil case lightly thrown at them, it's obviously not going to be a serious injury. He didn't even get scratched. He was just playing dead, like he was like needed CPR or something. And the teacher and Mrs. Dickhead was like, "Trims, you naughty criminal, you have murdered a person." And I'm gonna overly dramatize this, don't mind me. So I'm sitting there with blood on my hands, the pencil case I threw at my fellow colleague. Oh, he's injured. He's injured so badly. Oh, Mrs. Dickhead. She looks at me. These eyes of burning hell is in her eyes. I look at her. I know what's coming. She says to me, "Trims, you know what's gonna happen now, don't you?" And I look at her and I'm like, "No, please, no." She's just like, I'm sorry I have to do this, but I have to give you the worst punishment. I've never given this punishment to anyone in my life. You have been the first child that I've ever had to give this punishment to. You understand that, Trims?" And I look at her and I'm like, oh gosh, the whole child gasps when they hear that I will be given the first punishment. Oh, my friends, they say, "What have you become, Trims? You've become a criminal." And I'm like, I don't know. I've become this monster that I cannot reverse. Everyone looks at me in shame. My family, look, the teachers rung up my family to hear about the bad news. They're crying. They're like, "No, my son, he would never do such a thing." I'm just gonna get this guy. And then she thinks, no, it's not even enough. You need to learn your lesson, Trims. You're gonna be given. And then she says, and then everyone is like, "What is punishment 1? And she says, with a very shaky voice, "Trims is going to the principal's office." And everyone is like, and I'm like, no. How can I hit such a low, the lowest of the lows? Look, my future is like ruined at this point. I'm going on to be on the that criminal list. I'm too much of a menace to society. And then she thinks to herself, it was not even that much of a punishment. I'm going too easy on you. I shall give him punishment 1, Mark 2! And everyone gasps again, like, and then that one kid was just like, what is punishment 1, Mark 2? And she's like, "Oh, you do not want to know. You're going to be scarred for life." And then she says, "If you want to know, then I shall tell you. Punishment Mark 2 is being shamed, is sitting in the timeout corner. Even worse than the sad face. I know, it could never have been done. Even worse than the sad face. Like, I sat in the timeout zone for 10 minutes, and those 10 minutes were so agonizingly painful. All my friends, my family, I thought they were on my side, but they were like, no, it's too much. He's become a criminal. Everyone, like, turns on me like I committed a crime. I mean, I have committed a crime, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna stop the play because, like, it's very hard. It's very, very tiring to do because of how stupid this is. And I'm very disappointed in myself. I should never have thrown that pencil case at me because I definitely murdered a man. You know, she even called the cops on me because, like, it's a federal crime. I committed mass murder of one person. I was bound to be a criminal. So yeah, I respect her decision of putting me in the timeout corner. You can argue maybe it was a bit of an overshoot, but you know what, a bit overkill. But you know what, I think she should have given me. Hello there. This is so dumb. Hi. What? And honestly, she shouldn't even have done punishment 1 Mark 1. She should have done punishment 1 Mark 2. Oh my gosh, these names getting so long. I don't even know if punishment Mark 1. No, I don't even know if punishment 1 Mark 2 even exists. Oh yeah, I understand. I was a menace to society back then. I have changed. Trust me. You don't have to call the cops on me. I know that what I did, I admit, it was, I'll never do it again. I swear, okay? I'll never do it again.